Hey there everyone, today is another magical day on the beach at the Polynesian at the moment. And it's hard to imagine how long it's been. It has been just about 6 months. 6 months that we've lived in the Orlando area. And I have to tell you, it has been an unbelievable experience. Now, we've been talking about living in Florida for a little while. I've made a few of these update videos, but 6 months, somehow 6 months feels even more substantial than the others. Half a year we've been here. And let me tell you, it doesn't feel like half a year, not even close. Now in today's video, I'm gonna focus on some of those things that I've really learned. I've learned about Disney and about myself living in the Orlando area. And the first one is how much I enjoy the resorts. I knew that I enjoyed the resorts before I lived here. I knew it. I didn't realize how much more I would enjoy them by not feeling rushed in any way. In any way. I have seen more detail than I've ever seen before, and I love it. Something else that I love about living in the Orlando area, kind of revolving around the resorts and all of Walt Disney World and the relaxing pace, are the pictures that I have the opportunity to take. I can take my time and just go on a trip to the Magic Kingdom just simply to take photos of the castle. That's what I can spend the day doing if I want to. And I love that part of it. I love photography. It's a hobby of mine. And being able to expand upon it, to me, is just amazing. Something else that I realized when I was living in Maryland, the Washington, D.C. area, and I would have, a little bit of free time and say to myself, okay, what do I want to do with my free time? I'd always have to give it a second thought. When you lived in D.C., you didn't really want to go back into the city because that's where you worked every day, and, other things to do. Yeah, they were interesting, but not as exciting, not as fun as coming to, for example, the Polynesian Village Resort. So being able to do that in my free time, I never have to wonder what I'm going to do in my free time. There's always something to do. Now that being said, when we're out and about here, I'm making videos, so it's kind of a combination. Get to make more videos too. Perhaps I would have had time to roast marshmallows on the beach at the Poly on vacation, and there are a lot of guests who do, and it's a smart way to do it. But when there's so much to do, having more time for the things that you truly enjoy like that just adds so much. Now that specific piece leads us pretty well into a big negative, and I know you were gonna hear about this one. Moving to Florida for me has meant a lot of weight gain. There is no one to blame except myself on that one. When I moved to Orlando, it's like, oh my gosh, so much to see and do. Let's go try every, dessert item available. And I'm on vacation eating mode in non-vacation time. So it just continued and continued. I gained like 30 pounds moving to the Orlando area. I take full responsibility. I will fix that. New year, definitely going to be fixing that. But it's just something that, I guess it did catch me off guard. It did catch me off guard. Didn't expect for that to happen, especially that quickly. But, it's a small change I'm gonna have to make living in the area. I just cannot eat like I'm on vacation. That's the key. So I won't be getting every single dessert every time. Won't be eating ice cream on a daily or even weekly basis. It has to change a little bit. So it's to be special occasions. And it's something that I'll have to get used to. I have to get used to with Disney. And it's not the most exciting thought. It's not, but it's something that just has to happen. It's part of life. It's part of living in the area. And I'm happy to do it. I will absolutely do that in order to continue to be able to enjoy the parks the way I want to. Now that will no doubt take me some time to get used to the different eating habits. So not having all those desserts and the slushies and the smoothies, part of my New Year's resolution, got to get those 30 pounds off of me, and it's part of it. It's okay, that's how it works, but don't worry, we'll still have them from time to time. Just won't be as frequently. And it's a different way to experience the magic. I don't think it takes away. It doesn't take away, it's just a change that I have to kind of mentally get used to. Now, living here also means that the anticipation for the park has slowly but surely faded. Since I'm here more days than not, let's put it that way. It's not every day, but it's almost every day. I find that, I'm not anticipating it the same way that I used to on vacation. And it has taken 6 months for all of that to change, but it has changed. Despite the fact that the anticipation has changed, I always smile whenever I see Cinderella Castle or Spaceship Earth or another Disney icon that I have known and loved since childhood. And I feel like that part, the smiling, will never go away. Now, if you've been a part of the magic with me for a little while now, you know that I have had a fear of losing my love for the magic for some time. I mean, I have worried and worried and worried. And I didn't really think about it for a while. I said to myself, you know what? I'm just going to enjoy and just be happy to be here. And I feel like that fear that I almost forgot about, which I think is an important factor here, never came true. I never lost my love of the magic. 6 months later, I still love it. But the magic for me is enhanced on another level. I am here to see all the special events, to experience all the fun. Weekday, weekend, it is so much fun to experience it. But the big difference, it's at my leisure. Now, it's true when you're at Walt Disney World or any vacation destination, it's all about leisure, right? It's about going, relaxing, taking time off work, school, whatever it is. It's absolutely true. Walt Disney World is no different. But, you know, like everything, it costs money to come here. It does. I was on vacation for years, would come here and spend money to do it. Absolutely. But we would always plan out our trips. I would always plan out what we were gonna do when, making those fast pass reservations, dining reservations. It was a step-by-step process. And I'm one who says, I recommend planning out your trip to Walt Disney World. I recommend it highly. But when you live here, that changes entirely. The fast passes, yes, I get them from time to time, but I don't plan my entire day around fast passes anymore. I don't have dinings that I have to make on this certain day because that's the only time for 6 months that I can go to that restaurant. So for me, it is changed. Yes, the anticipation has changed. Yes, the number of pictures, sure, those things have changed. But then it changed in a really good way in terms of I can just sit here. I can sit here and look at this orange wall all night if I wanted to and observe all the little parts of it. That to me is enhance the magic in ways that are hard to describe. Now there is a slight negative to that, however. When I don't make fast passes, I end up having to stand in the standby line because I didn't think about what I was gonna do 60 days in advance because in all honesty, I didn't know what I was gonna do 60 days in advance. The flip side of that, I can just wait in line if I want to, or I could walk by, see a standby wait time for Tomorrowland Speedway at 65 minutes and say, next time. Next time sounds good, maybe next week. Now, one thing that I know I can change, I can fix this, is it's an issue, it is an issue that I've found. I am on my phone far too much in the parks now. It's just because I'm here too frequently. I end up being on my phone. It's just part of the process of learning how to separate the real world and Fantasyland. It's important, and it's something that I want to continue to work on, but it's a habit that I've kind of developed that I want to get out of. Stop being on my phone when I'm at Walt Disney World. I realize how difficult that is to do in our digital age. It is, making fast passes, dining reservations, whatever it is, it's all done on our phones now. I just want to be on it less. I'm gonna try. Another thing that I love about living in the area is seeing the Mouse Key Dance Sit Street Party from unique angles, even up here by Cinderella Castle over here and the Dreamlights. Now, something really cool about living in the Orlando area and coming to Disney and being more creative with my content is thinking about new tech all the time. I'm always thinking about ways that we can be even more immersed, how I can show you the magic in even more ways. I've been playing with some 360 cameras and other things, and it's a lot of fun for me. Being able to come in and kind of experiment with cameras in the place where dreams come true, to me, it's a big part of it. I love that. I love the creative process, video creation, you know I do, and being able to immerse you in the everyday. It just brings me smiles. Something else that I love about living in the area is that I get to try all sorts of dining venues that I haven't tried either in years or sometimes ever. Let me tell you, you have your favorites at Disney, and that's fantastic. Gotta love your favorites. And then you go to Disney, there's always something new. There's always new restaurants somewhere to try, and you have maybe 5-7 days to eat. You can't eat everything, so you've got to make decisions. Do you go back to your favorites, or do you try something new? And not having to make that choice is something that I love. I love it. So I have the opportunity to share those things with you and tell you what you should prioritize on vacation. Love that part. Love it. Now, one negative that I have found more than once is the fact that I come into the park sometimes and I don't ride any rides. It's become not standard practice, but common. It's become common. I wouldn't say every other time, but maybe every 3 or 4 times I come to the parks, I end up coming to the parks, maybe eating something, maybe looking at something, taking pictures, and not going on any rides. I don't like that part. It's hard to explain. It's not that I'm tired of the rides. I'm not. I love them. It's just that I'm prioritizing different things at the parks. So it's just all about how I'm thinking about the parks. It's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. Not a negative. Just, I guess, something that we have to continue to work on, just kind of be cognizant of. It feels like a lot of the things that we're talking about today, things that I really have to think about twice. I got to think about a lot, since the move. I got to be, okay, I'm going to go on rides because it's fun. I want to do it. I'm going to prioritize this and not run off somewhere else. And that, it's just difficult. It's something else to have to think about. Now, don't be mistaken. It's not that I don't want to go on rides. Not at all. It's the fact that waiting in lines that are more than 20, 25 minutes, sometimes when you live in the area, is just like, oh no, I'll wait till later. I'll wait till another time. And sometimes that leads into another several months from now. So it's not that I don't like the attractions. It's the wait times. It's the wait times that I'm I'm saying to myself, it's a self-done thing. I say to myself, oh, that's okay, I'll do something else with my time. And I can see the benefit of it, and just thinking about it consciously for a moment, I can see the benefit of it. You use your time in a different way. But I love the rides. I don't know. It's just a weighing out thing. Do you wait on the rides, for the rides, or do you wait for a different time of year where they're not nearly as crowded? It goes back and forth. But for now, you know, rides like the People Mover, which usually are less crowded than other attractions at Walt Disney World, are always a great choice. Now that leads to another thought about lines. When I see lines like this, it's a pretty long line for a photo in front of the castle with the lights here, I don't stand in it. Not because I don't want the picture, but because I want to wait for the crowds to be much, much lower. And we have the opportunity to take those pictures when the crowds are much, much lower. It's funny, Disney for me used to be high intensity all the time. Running around, seeing these attractions. I have changed so much in terms of my ability to just kind of sit back and relax for a few hours at the Magic Kingdom and just enjoy it. The sounds, the smells, the colors, everything about it I love. So, you know, there are days for intensity. New Year's Eve, that's a day for intensity, but most of the days now are calm and relaxing. Now, one issue that I feel like I ran into living in the Orlando area, shopping. Shopping is very, very difficult because you end up feeling like, okay, I can only buy a certain number of things. Like there's a limit. If I bought everything in the Emporium, I wouldn't be able to go anywhere else ever. It just wouldn't work. I'd probably end up being in debt too. That wouldn't work. So you have to pick and choose. You can't just have everything all the time. Even with every holiday season, you have to pick and choose what you love, your absolute favorite thing, and go for that. It's a little bit more difficult because you have to put a lot more thought into it. You can't just have snap decision, okay, I'm gonna buy $200 lightsabers, and next week I'm gonna do the same thing. It just wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work. So, just some thoughts. It's just an extra thought, an extra step you have to take. The biggest change by far is the want. I was gonna say need, but it's more of a want. The want to sit down, relax, and enjoy it just seated. I'm not sure why. That's become such a big part of the experience, but it has. Sitting down, relaxing, just looking. Totally different way of appreciating the magic, but no less magical. Something else that I've noticed is my want to keep changing the transportation style. Some days I really feel like the monorail, other days it's the ferry boat, maybe it's the bus, maybe it's just the standard boat across the way. It just varies for me. I like to switch it up. There are no doubt tons of positives and negatives. There are, no doubt, but you can already tell the positives outweigh the negatives by a long shot. But it's really important. There's one big factor that I want to discuss now that's really, really important. It's my love of the magic. I love the magic before I got here. No doubt about it. It's only been 6 months. I've loved it since I was born. Since before I was born. I get to say that because Mom was pregnant with me when she came to Walt Disney World. But I knew I loved it. I knew for years that I would want to go back again and again and again and again and again. It didn't get old to me. Then I got here, and it didn't get old to me, and I love that. But I have spoken to friends who have said, Michael, you know, I'm worried, so worried about it getting old for me. And I think it's a fair question. Being here as long as I've been, 6 months, I think it is a fair question. No, I did not get tired of the magic. I did not, and that's an important factor. I didn't get tired of it. But could I see someone being tired of the magic at a certain point? Yes, I could. Now, I come to Disney World just about every day or close to it, and I love making the videos with you. It's part of my passion. I can't get enough of it. I love it. But if you come to Disney World every single day for 6 months straight, as soon as you move here, if you move here, I can see a point where it's like, oh, this is a little bit much. So I can see it. I absolutely can. I think it's important to have that moderation and the variety. And, you know, David's trying to convince me to go to other places all around, and we'll try beaches, you know, this summer and all of that. So there's a lot that I want to experience about the Florida life, and it's important to be having that kind of mix. The mix is important. Love Disney, absolutely love it. It's not getting old to me at all, but I can see how someone could say, oh my gosh, it is getting a little bit old if I am there every single day. So it's just something to be vigilant of if you're thinking about it. For me personally, it didn't get old. And I believe now after 6 months, it's never gonna get old. I just love it so much. I love everything about it. Everything about it. The resorts, the small details, even the small beaches near the resorts are unbelievable to me. Of course, the rides, the shows, everything, absolutely everything. But can I see it becoming something that you say, oh my gosh, it's a little bit too much? If you come every single day and there's no other variety, I can see it becoming a point where it's like, oh my gosh, this is too much. It has not happened to me, and I'm sure that there are many in our community where it wouldn't happen to you either. I was actually talking to my mom, and she was like, Oh, I would never get bored of it. And I believe her. So I think that many in our community wouldn't get bored of it at all. It's just something that you have to be personally aware of and just, okay, I have to make sure I'm at a point. If I was there every single day, would I get tired of it? Just something to think about if you're considering it. Of course, another huge positive, being able to see fireworks spectaculars from places you've never seen it from before. Now, this is a trick you've seen me use before. As soon as those fireworks start, I'm going to hit the play button on this soundtrack, and you can see I'll be able to get the music from here, even though maybe it'll be piped in over here. Hopefully it will be, but if not, gotta back up. Wow. Oh my gosh. Yes, it is more impressive up right in front of the castle, but this is super magical, especially for a quiet evening. Very, very, very few people around me. Fantastic. Heart of the ocean. Wow, it's so clear back here. Reasons why I know I'll never get tired of Disney. 6 months later, still brings a tear to my eye to watch Happily Ever After from across the lake. Wow. That's how I know. That's one of the ways that I know that I was meant to be here, and I can go the distance. I love the soundtrack. Soundtrack for Happily Ever After is like one of my new favorites. I'm telling you, Illuminations, still's got that spot, but it's the past now. We gotta look forward, right? Keep looking forward. Walt would want that. So keep looking forward, and this show is just fantastic. Even moments like this, where we have the entire bridge to the dock to ourselves, brings me a smile. So, 6-month update. Gotta tell you, living in Orlando, a fantastic feeling every single day. Yes, there are a few things that you have to get used to, like, how much you are eating at certain places and desserts and all of these things, and going to the parks and going on attractions. But given those small things, the small things you have to kind of think about a little bit more, just the extra thought process that you have to put into it, gotta tell you, fantastic. Absolutely love living here. Best decision I ever made. I hope you found this video fun, helpful, and informative. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts about, living in the area and some of the things that I mentioned. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for being a part of the magic with me today. Until next time, have a magical day.